Hello, welcome to the Reframing Mindset podcast. We are clear my head of the thoughts that are preventing clarity to practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day. Okay, now so welcome back to Reframe Mindset Podcast. My name is Colin Smith Brooks, and now basically this episode we're going to talk about being house poor. The term. It's a term that I've heard a lot. And I would say I'm in that position. But with the situation that I'm in now, it's a good term to actually not really call myself, but it's a good state of being. Good state of being in that. It's a term that you should know, before in this home ownership business, being house poor. But it's one of it's one of those good things where, before I start on this journey, it's a good thing that I actually watch. I watch a lot of real estate, all kind of stuff, because it's one of those things where I realize that, bro, I was living in the future, and I was living in the future, bro. I was living in the future. So basically, what's happening? So right now, most of the major things that I wanted to do to actually, beautify the place is actually done. It's done. So that's basically the first. That's what January to now July. So I guess the next phase now is be like to maintain it. So in order to maintain, I need income. And it's not. I'm on the job search and such like that, and things aren't going the way it not going. I don't say not going away, but it's not going my way. Yeah. So I'm at this stagnation where the thing that people always talk about. The bad thing about owning a home is that you're at your in term. So one of the things that people always talk about before owning and renting is that you're basically chain locked down to the location and such like that. And kinda, in certain cases, I would say that yes, but it's one of the good thing about it is that it's a good thing that I actually learn about the pros and cons of renting versus owning, so that when I'm in a situation like this now, I'm not in that really bad situation in the sense that it's a tragedy, because I did most of the things to actually I actually like the home settings now that I'm in now. The only bad thing about it is that I'm not in a position to really the traveling aspect that I want to do. Not in that position yet, but over time things will be going well and such like that. But yo, it's it's one of the it's one of those things. Back in one of my previous episodes, the episode was talking about time, and I said that over over time, what will happen is that you actually do some of the tasks, and then eventually you reach the days. So, like say you do a certain task today, and then you don't have to do it tomorrow. The next day you'll have to be filled up with more time. So that's basically what's happening with me now. Is that I did most. If you are listening to the podcast and you heard about the various things that I've been doing, around the home and such like that, you realize that majority of those stuff are finished now. So mostly there's not really much to do now. So there's not really much just to get the income to actually maintain it. maintain it. So basically now would be me trying to start the car grind now. That would be basically where I'm at now. But the whole being house poor in that majority of the income would be going towards maintaining the home living. Yeah, that's kind of basically a accurate situation to kind of describe where I'm at now. But it's good. The good thing is that I actually set up the home to be a very nice home area. So while I'm maybe horse pouring by definition, you know, I the home that I built, the home is a home, so I'm actually glad about that. So I guess this next month now would be me focus on me trying to get the income to actually kind of maintain it, and then can actually progress, if you get what I mean. Yeah. So yeah. So the next thing about being the house poor is that if you mentioned on one of the previous episodes before, one of the unforeseen things is the repairs. Yeah, so that's one of the other things that is kind of coming up now. And I guess, as I said, this is the first year into it. So, you know, all these things, I guess, are prophesied are, I mentioned it before. So now that I'm in the situation, it's not something that really that's as stressing as it would be if I wasn't prepared for it. One thing is just that, it kind of left me in a more boring state now. But it's better be in a boring state than be in a stressed state. So I have to really glad about that. So that's basically it. What I said is that, in this, to make that decision to actually try to be a homeowner. As I said, the first year will be you reacting to problems and such like that. And most of the first year will be you trying to make this place into what you want it to be. So, some being house poor now, that, as I said, I think I mentioned before that, being a homeowner is like being a CEO of a company. Where basically you're responsible for all the problems that's going on and such like that. So, yeah, that's basically the situation now. Like, um, in running a business, you're when you're the CEO, you have the risk of financially sinking because to be the CEO, you have to take majority of the risk. So when in a situation like this now during the downtime, you're the captain. You have to you can't leave the ship. And I mentioned before that we locked in. So this is one of the down period where you have to just chill out and enjoy the ride. Just and and just do things to actually progress. But you don't give up as yet. We don't call it in as yet. We have to just okay. This is the state that we're in now. What's the strategy to move forward? And that's what I'm thinking about now. And it's a good thing that I thought of think about all of these things prior, so that when now I'm in the situation now, it's not really as bad. And as a listener, you know, listen to me in this situation, and then know that okay, this is a thing that you can be in as well. So if you're in that situation, you won't be as surprised as well. So yo, bro, I'm too good and I'm too great. Too great. And if you're a listener, bro, you're living in the future. You're living in the future. So thank you for listening. I feel hype. Even though I'm poor, but I feel hype. I think it's the alkaline party that I talked about in the last episode that me feels hype. But thanks for listening. I look forward for the next episode.
Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/cssb/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter at ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.
I think I reached a stage in the podcast where, it's like, I'm regurgitating knowledge, isn't it? Regurgitating. I'm just repeating knowledge and stuff like that. But I don't think so. I don't think that what happened is, like, bro, like, when I start something, I thought you would reach this far. And when you have reached this far now, you realize that one thing you realize is that all the things that you have been learning, when you have reached this far, you realize some of the things that you have been learning in theory, maybe through school or television or whatever, you realize you start applying them, and then not only applying them, you're understanding the logics and the reason for why they are being done, and then it's like you're